biggest news of the weekend, and there were a lot of them over the past few days, right? But the biggest news is the implosion that we saw at MetLife Stadium. Bucks against the Jets. Bucks are down. They're losing to the Jets. The Jets are playing them tough. It's a difficult game for the Bucks. They're down 14 points at one point. They end up winning the game 27-24, but it took a lot to get there. Tom Brady had the game-winning drive, 16 seconds left. He throws a touchdown pass. They win in typical Brady fashion, right? But that's not the story of the game. We're not talking about Brady's greatness after a Bucks win. We're actually talking about Antonio Brown. Antonio Brown left the sidelines, took off his pads, threw his gloves into the stadium, to the stands, chucked the deuces to the fans, and ran off the field. Now, the story goes is that he said that his ankle wasn't feeling right all week. He didn't practice all week. Played the game, didn't feel right. Bruce Arians asked him to go into the game a couple of times. He refused. Bruce Arians then told him to get the F off the field, and that was that. So they asked Bruce Arians after the game, is he a part of the team? And he said he's no longer a part of the team. That's it. But we still see that there's reports saying that they still have not released him officially. So I don't know what the deal is there in regards to what they're planning to do internally. He hasn't hit the NFL wire yet, so he's still a part of the team. They still have his rights. That's all the technical jargon in regards to him not being a part of the team. The part that I want to talk about is Antonio Brown. Antonio Brown is going through some difficult times. The last 5 years or so, you've been seeing an uptick in these occurrences, these episodes where he just loses control. He just does wild, wacky stuff. But this was the icing on the cake. We've never seen him take this type of action on the field. Ryan Clark said it that, he's always been a guy that's been prepared on the field. He's never taken his personal issues on the field. Well, we saw it spill over on Sunday. So are we going to see Antonio Brown again in the NFL? In my opinion, no. I don't think we should. But is that actually the reality? The problem that I'm having with this whole thing is that you have apologists for him. You're hearing there's rumors out there that Bruce Arians told Antonio Brown that he's not going to get his incentive, and that's why Antonio Brown blew up. And people will say, nobody just blows up like that. Yeah, Antonio Brown does. Antonio Brown has had issues over the years that have shown you this is where it was going to head to anyway. So I can't see a scenario where Bruce Arians, who's a very player-friendly coach, is going to tell a player that, yeah, I'm going to stop you from getting money. That has nothing to do with Bruce Arians' money. It's not coming out of Bruce Arians' pocket. What does he care if his player gets an incentive or not? It's all about winning the football game. Just a week prior, he had 15 targets. So why wouldn't he not get the ball that day? Doesn't make sense. The other thing that doesn't make sense is that you hear there's rumors around that teammates heard the same thing and all that. Here's my part of it. Even if this were true, it still doesn't warrant the behavior that he did on Sunday. You do not do that. I've heard worse things being said on sidelines. I've heard stories of worse things being said to players, and they respectfully play out the game. They play out their season, and they don't go back to that team. They leave via free agency, via trade. You never hear of things until years down the road. So I don't want to hear the apologists. That's BS. You always have these people out there that warrant this type of behavior, and this is why Antonio Brown will never change. It's because he has people out there that, I'm with AB. I'm a big AB supporter. I love Antonio Brown. I think he's a great player. I think he's one of the most dynamic performers that we've had in the NFL. But Antonio Brown right now does not need enablers. Antonio Brown needs to be told the truth. You need help. You need professional help. You need to go see somebody. You need to go step away from football because it's not helping you. Football is not helping him get over whatever demons he has. It's not. It's actually making it worse because all you're doing is putting a Band-Aid on a gunshot. You're not solving the problem. He's just going from place to place to place with the same issues. And if Tom Brady can't save you, nobody can in regards to football. Tom Brady had him staying in his house. He didn't have to, rent a home or apartment, whatever it was. He stayed in Brady's home. So that's how you know how much Brady cares for the guy. And you heard what Brady said after the game. It's time for compassion and understanding because Antonio Brown is going through a rough time. I wholeheartedly believe that. I do believe that he's going through a bad stretch. But football is not helping him. And you have these enabling teams out there that will see the talent and, we'll give him a shot. He hasn't had an issue in 5 months. But has he actually gotten help for those issues, or is he just quiet? Because that's what happens when Antonio Brown. He goes quiet for a little while, and then something happens, goes quiet for a little while, and then people say, I guess he's fine. No, he's not fine. If you're going to bring in Antonio Brown into your organization, you have to have a therapist. You have to have things in place to be able to, help him, assist him with whatever issues he's having. Because it's deeper than football. It really is. A person that doesn't have any talent at all, but works hard is not going to get the opportunities that an Antonio Brown will because talent always wins out, doesn't it? Doesn't matter how screwed up you could be. Doesn't matter who you disrespect, how many bridges you burn. Talent is always going to get you in the door. When it shouldn't actually be like that. We should be looking at people who work hard, who bust their ass, and make sure that they're not burning bridges, that they respect the organizations, they respect their job, they respect the people around them. They don't do the things that this guy does. This is not a good thing for the NFL to continue to allow him to do this. They have to take the power out of his hands and out of the GM's hands. Do not sign Antonio Brown until you know he's gotten help. And if he hasn't gotten any help, then you stay away. You stay away. And for the people in his life, stop enabling him. Get him some serious help. Because if you don't, we're going to have a different conversation very, very soon. And I don't want to have that conversation. I don't think anybody does. I had a conversation with one of the homies, and, we were talking about the whole AB situation. And, he's like, hey, listen, I don't agree with what happened, but, it's possibly why he blew up like that. And I'm like, listen, that's like somebody out there calls you a name. And you now react and you're acting crazy and you're going to fight the person and taking off your shirt and people are recording you, right? All they're recording is your reaction. So you look like the maniac. You look like you're attacking somebody when really and truly you're just responding to what might have happened. You have to be the bigger person because at the end of the day, you're going to look crazy. You're not going to have people that are witnesses for what happened. You're going to have to explain that. And if your reputation is not that of a good one, where you're always in these bad situations, you're not going to get the benefit of the doubt. That's where AB is. So even no matter what was said on the sideline, if that is true, I don't believe it's true, but if it is true, you don't react that way. And AB does not have a filter. He doesn't have something that can be able to allow him to control himself. That's why he has to separate himself from football because it's not helping. Look, he stayed in New York. He was at the Nets game. He was at courtside, and it's like nothing happened. It's like nothing happened. You have friends there with him, and they taking pictures, and nothing happened. That's not what he's supposed to be doing right now. He needs to get some real help.